All right, this one went better than the last one, but I was doing a lot of more back-end stuff. You'll see how you can do both at the same time, front-end and back-end. You'll see how you can do the back-end without the front-end, obviously. But we set up webhooks so that users can add webhooks to their profile, and then when their job posting gets updated or added, the webhook gets triggered so people can get notified when a new job posting gets added. In the next video, we'll do emails and job replies and stuff. So we're really trying to push events out to people so they can register for those events. So it went well. You'll see some N8N. We might move to the active pieces once we get rolling, but I just want to move quickly and get to a place where we can start using it. Shifting the back end around wouldn't be too hard. We dig into Supabase as well, which is nice. I'm really excited about that. All right, hang in there. And if you don't make it to the end, fine, but just there are some links down below to get updated when this goes live, to basically support in other ways with swag or newsletter, or soon there'll be a community link. I'm making a forum for people to ask questions that I will show up to and answer the questions. That will show up soon. Maybe you'll see the link below. All right, thank you. All right, so we're going to go at this again. So we left off with the APIs working, and I would like to eventually get that into a test so that we can run these regularly. And it's doable with Postman for sure. So I'll just make a note of that. Now, we're just going to do a few things today, hopefully, but I know for sure what I want to get is the webhooks working. What it's going to be is like a user can add a webhook to their profile, and we're going to do that right now. I'm going to do it in Lovable, but I don't want to slow things down. So let's think about that for a moment. So a user adds their webhook. Now, I have my N8N. I'm going to make a quick webhook to just prove it's working. So we're going to call this example user webhook. So here I am, a user of UsWork, and I'm going to add my webhook here. And so it's going to be a post, and you can have a password. We'll have to remember that as well. So we'll take care of the password. Let's make a note so I don't forget these. So basically at this point, that's saved. So that user will then, let's go to the drawing. When the event of a new or updated posting that's not in draft mode, basically, or not taking, let's see, what would that be? That would be available? I forget what we call that one. When a new posting is now not in draft mode or not in taken, then Supabase will trigger all the time. And then if it's not in those particular stages, we'll send out all of those. We'll iterate over all the registered webhooks and hit those with the latest data. I could do this all from Supabase, but I don't want to do that just yet. I do though. It's just interesting. I'm trying to figure out the best tools for the jobs, basically. So we want to set up a webhook, and let's go find that. Oh, here it is. And we'll go into here and we're going to register a webhook. I probably just had to reload. Okay, so we're going to create a new webhook, and we'll say job posting. And select which table. So job posting. So we're in our public schema, and it will be on insert and update. And we'll have to, we shouldn't see a draft. So on our end, we'll filter some things out. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, wow. That's neat. So you see I could hit a Supabase function here. So we're going to keep that in mind as we go. Now, we're not going to put the example user one there, but we're going to put, but who knows? We could, anyways. We're going to put the job posting or updated webhook. And it's in here. I'm going to grab this one, and it actually has a secret with it as well. So I'm going to go make sure to add that. And it's just going to take it and let go. So it's not going to ask for much. And we're going to have a header of authorization. And spelling is not my specialty. And then we're going to go get our bearer token. And I think, yeah, there you go. Obviously, I'll change that if I remember. So that should do it, I think. So now, when we insert or update a job posting, it should trigger. I don't know if they have a test. They don't. Okay. Again, there's a lot to learn with Supabase. A lot you could do, honestly. It's pretty neat. So now, when a job posting is altered, so let's go just tweak it. Let's just go, let's see. So this guy's available. That's the word we're looking for. And if we set it to, we'll just do a count up, 001. Oops. Let me scroll down and save. I'm going to keep things simple. Like this could have been built in Supabase functions. I'm going to use N8N for right now and then eventually move it to active pieces if we worry about licenses, or just put it into Supabase functions if we can get the logging and dashboard to feel comfortable with that. But this is fine for now. I really want to iterate. So let's go copy this to the editor. And now we're going to say, we'll do a filter. And then we'll say, where is this guy? Job posting. And, oh, wow, it even comes up with the old record. Oh my gosh, this is really nice. I was struggling with this recently. We're going to say if. So nice. So this is where Supabase and N8N are a great combination. So we're going to say, okay, if, in my excitement, I've lost it, the record and the old record. This is so important. If status is equal to available, right? That word there. And in status is not equal to old record, then we then we care. So if it went from draft to available, then we care. So new status available, old status draft. Okay. And it's not an or, so it won't get confused. Okay. So this one won't succeed, but we're going to go start messing with our pin data at this point. So, I mean, it will succeed, but it's just that. Okay. So that's good. We don't need that. No, that's great. Okay. So then we might not need this. I just put this here to prove. Now, what we want to do is have a table. Oh, we do need this. So then we want to iterate over our profiles that have webhooks, but we don't have any right now. So let's go ask Lovable to help with that. Sorry, I have a ton of stupid apps. I don't even know what I'm building half the time. And at this point, I don't even know what we have. Profiles. Is it profile or profiles? Profile. Now, this is the easy part. Adding their particular secret to it is the hard part. And it is ideally supposed to be encrypted at rest. So we could even encrypt it right there and then so no one can see it easily without the key. Okay, let's go look. Okay, nice. So now I'm just going to take the example user webhook. So that guy here. And all I'm going to do, oh, we'll see if it built the UI already. Probably did. Let's let it do its thing, because we don't need to worry about the front end to make this work. And then I'm going to go here and do that. And I think I didn't save. 1 moment. Maybe I did. Oh, we just press enter. Okay. I'm going to give it to 2 of the 3, just so we have a sense of it doing the job. Okay. So now, when it goes from something to something, it will hit all of those. So let's go prove. Let's keep working through this. So this guy, oops, we're going to say in our pin data that it is available, but it used to be draft. This is more of a normal flow, okay? So now we're going to say test, and it hits there. Now, Supabase is going to go query all of those profiles, and it's going to have to be active accounts. Let's see. Let's consider that for a moment. Subscriptions. That's interesting. How is Supabase tracking subscriptions? We'll have to ask that, because not Supabase. How is Lovable? We'll ask that. The Lovable does subscriptions by default, so I assumed it would have been there, in that it has a way of doing it. And maybe because they're tested, it doesn't, but I don't know. We're going to have to find out. But I want to see, if we go to auth, this is where the user tables are, and I don't see anything in there related to subscriptions. So I think we're okay. I think it will fill in that profile, this area here. But, oh look, it did it here though. I'm not sure if that's great. I don't want to fight Lovable. I want it to do its thing. It made that subscription table. So that's interesting. Let's set these to true. Man, we're really gonna have to come back. I made a little note for that one, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But I want something in there so that we have something to consider in our query. True. Okay. So we're going to say, give me all the row, and I don't need the job. I need the profiles. And if I do this, we're going to get 3. But I only want the true, and I only want the ones with the webhook. So we're going to get 2 when we're done. Let's see. Any filter. Must match all. Webhook string not is. Not sure about that. Let's just try that. Okay. And then add a condition. Webhook string has active subscription. So has active subscription true. Okay. All right. So that works. Okay. So now we're going to iterate over that, which I don't know the best way to iterate, but I'm going to use a loop. And I know sometimes from a database, I don't know if you need to use a loop. It's almost like it has it built in, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So then, and let me make a note, staging Supabase. And what I'll do here for later sanity is we're going to go here and then edit that. And then, you can't edit that. So let's do that. And we'll go like that. Okay. So now we have a sense of where that hook is. So we go here, we now need to do something. And what we'll do is this, HTTP. Now, I'm not tracking any sense of success or failure here. So we're gonna do that. So let's see. Oh, sorry. It doesn't matter. I just want to put something there so it stops complaining. Okay. So what I want to do is grab this guy. So it has to be a post. And authentication would be relative to another field in here. So we'll hit that shortly. And then that will do that. And then we want to say on error, continue. Okay. So on error, continue, and keep looping. But we're going to track something in a moment. Okay. So let's see. Loop 2 items. 2 items went through. We've hit 2 webhooks of the same, obviously. And then if we go here, we start seeing the webhooks coming in. All right. So that's working, but I don't like that we're not tracking that because I want to just make sure we're tracking that. Let's do this. New table. I'm so used to doing migrations by code that this is a little tricky. Oh, we could do real-time events. So that's interesting. Okay. But you don't have to do it this way. You could do it in code. And we wouldn't deploy it this way either. They have ways of doing that. Let's see, status will be text and then we need the foreign ID relationship. Let's see, select a schema, table, profiles. I might just do, I'm so new to this with Supabase. Let's see something here. So what do we got here? Username, ID, created at, updated at, webhook. Oh, and they took the UUID and the ID and made it link to that. So we can do that. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to say, I'm going to cancel out of here for a moment. And user ID. And that will be UUID. And then we don't really need to do that. That won't be unique. And it really won't be ever nullable. So let's just remove that. Okay. And then we'll say grab the profile and then grab the public. Will equal the profile ID. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that because we might do like a soft delete pattern. We'll see. We'll see. I guess we have to be able to delete people's records. I guess I will do that. Again, lots of details that we can come back to in time. Okay. We're just saying deleted if the user profile gets deleted. And the profile should get deleted if the user gets deleted. This guy, let's go look really quick. Auth, users, profile, ID, which is interesting. It's the user ID. Okay. Yeah, okay. And then cascade. So it's going to do it as well. So if we remove a user, everything gets removed from there. All right, let's see. Those are all connected. We have our logs. So I want to now do this. Okay. So what we want to do is, and sometimes I wish I I hate when it does that. Let's see. So that would be that. So that would be that. How do I... Sometimes here, let's just delete one of these. Okay. So on an error, we want to do the same thing with Supabase. So we want to go update that guy. So Supabase, we want to insert, create a row, and it will be web logs, and define each below. And we want to say created at, and I should set that to auto. Created at, yeah, it does. Okay, cool. Man, this stuff's so good. Sent at. So this is the error, so it's null. So we're gonna say status failed. We could save the fail. I didn't think of that, but let's just keep going. Status user ID. So user ID would be this. Okay. And I hate when seeing red, so sometimes I'll just do this. But even then it's red. That's interesting. I think it's gonna be okay. We'll go find out in a moment. Be interesting, how do we check test a fail? We'll put one bad URL in there and we'll test a fail. Okay. So let's see, fail and that. And then we keep going. Okay. Then this guy will be Supabase. Create a row, logs, and then define below. So user, I'll just go in order. Sent at, and then I'll just do, this seems to work good. Oops. And then, let's see, sent at, status, sent, completed, and then user ID. We pull that over. Oh, that one worked. Oh, because we never went down the fail path. Okay. And then I think that's about it. I think. Let's double check. User ID. Yeah, that is. Okay. So then we will do that. Let's just do a run. And so that looks good. Let's go over to here and we'll see web logs coming through now. So this is great. And we'll show them in the UI for the user. We'll get there. Let's make a note. Web logs in UI. Webhook logs. Webhook logs in the UI for the user. And I want to go now break someone's webhook. So we're going to go here. And we're going to go here. And we'll just say that. Okay. So now, if we run this again, let's see, where are you? Since we didn't pin anything, because you could pin the data, we can run it again. And now we get both. Okay. So it's good. And we could notify them on a fail. Like you'll see, it can keep going in good directions. But we just don't want to build the ultimate thing until we start making some progress here on the basics. All right, so that guy is done. We now have, when a job proposal is created or updated, it will send a link. Now, a webhook. So if I was to go here and we have, let's reload that. Let's delete these just so we can see it all come together. So if we go here, let's say, okay. And then if I go jobs, post, test webhooks, test 001, save as draft, no big deal. Now test webhook, we're going to change it to available. Now that should, all of them should trigger, but that's the only one that should go through. So if we go to here, we see everybody getting hit and we should see it here. All right, we have a webhook. Every time a job posted, we send it. Now, did it add it to the profile? I didn't deploy that, so let's go back and look. Let's see. We shouldn't say Zapier. It could be anything. So this is great. And your webhook was updated successfully. And then I'm going to go out of here and back to here. Looking good. Then I'll go, it's the first user, so it should show up here. Let me reload. See, I already had one, so I'm surprised it didn't show. So did it decide to save it somewhere else? That's interesting. Let me reload that. Let's do this. None of it's perfect. Let's go, where did their reload go? Oh, here it is. Just make sure it's not. So I'm going to just say testing. And then we're going to go back to here. and go back to profiles and then reload. Let's see if any of these say testing. One moment. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it was the empty one. Okay, good. So it's working. So let me keep this one as null. No, I'll just leave that. It doesn't matter. So we'll have 2 fails every time there's a job posting that goes from anything to available. All right, that's good. That wasn't bad. That's less than 30 minutes. So let's go to our example user. Our example user decides to set up a password, authentication header. We'll make a new one, example password. And then we'll just say, and then we'll type in here in a field I can't see anything. And hope we did everything right. Okay, so now this will only work if we send it there. So if we do our N8N now, it will all fail. Let's see. Actually, that's not fair because 2 of them are fails anyway. So let's go fix that. I think this is the only good one. Okay, and then let's fix this one. So we should get 3 passes because they're all good, but we're not gonna because we're not passing that in yet. So let's go do that. Okay, so now we're gonna go to here and we're gonna say, you know what, we need a header. And it's okay because I think we can pass in a blank and it won't hurt anything. So authorization, let me say bearer, and then we grab this, and if this is null, it still is okay. Okay, so let's do that. Right, now we have success. So you can see that this is done. We need to go encrypt that though. I don't want that in plain text. Encrypt the, so okay, let's just look. Only owner can see people's emails. That's there, but we need to do some other UI. Lovable in Supabase, test mode, right. Webhooks log, done. Emails outside the system can get messy, right? We don't want to do emails. We're giving people a link or they're seeing each other's emails. We're gonna make the UI a little nicer. Notify when jobs are added. And we should get notified for when a person replies, right? So notify. Now, there's different types of people. Some want webhooks and some want email because they're just not setting up webhooks, and that makes sense. So in this case, I'll have to set up, I use postmark, we'll throw that in there. And then every time someone replies to your job posting, you'll get notified. So we'll do that on the next one. Let me drag this up because these get long and barely anyone watches the whole thing. That will be the next one where you can see the webhook should be easy. The emails will be pretty darn easy. And then let's keep going down. Email outside the system. This one gets confusing, so I'm going to get rid of that and just say make a copy button. Job owner gets notified. Job owner gets notified. I think it's the same thing. Notify when person applies to job. So job owner. So then we'll get rid of this one because it's a duplicate. Let's see. API, we have docs API. And we got to fix the docs in the token. Okay, we did that already. Okay, hide taken jobs. So let's see if that's true. I'm pretty sure it is. So what do we got here? Available. It's not true. Okay, hide taken jobs in the browse jobs. We still have to do search jobs, but not so big. The person who won the job can see it in the UI. Push out to webhook when there's a new job posting. So I think we have a duplicate, so I won't keep that one. All right, person validation, only 1 job proposal per person, right? In that. Okay, so we'll keep going down the list. This is the next one. These other ones we'll leave there so we can enjoy some progress, and that's about it. I'll hit this again later today, maybe tomorrow. I'm trying to do only 30 minutes because then I have to do all the editing, and then it can get messy. So I'm just gonna keep going at it in small chunks, and more often though. Sorry I missed a day. All right, thank you. Look down below. You could sign up to be updated when this is ready. There's newsletter stuff. There's some store stuff and support stuff. All right, thank you.